This slide just includes some additional info on Title VI that you could access from the recorded presentation later on if you choose. To view captions and subtitles in Zoom, click Show Captions, click Speaking Language, and then select the language from the list. Closed captioning, including non-English translation options, are available on YouTube after the event. To use the Zoom Q&A function, select the Q&A tool at the bottom of the Zoom webinar window. The Q&A window will open as seen on the right. Please type questions in the text box and click Enter. If you are an audio-only participant, dial *9 to raise and lower your hand. As mentioned earlier, the meeting will conclude with a question and answer session following the presentation. You can ask questions here in person or submit your questions through Zoom. Additionally, we have an email address and phone number where you can submit comments and questions, or also fill out the form that I discussed earlier. This slide will be displayed again when we get to the Q&A session. And now I'll hand it over to Chris Van Olden.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. Does that work? Good evening. Good evening. Hi, my name is Chris Van Olden. I'm with Lochner. This project is located on Route 201, Cossaduck Hill Road in the town of North Stonington. On the image on the right in red is our project limits. Within our project limits, there is a culvert approximately 150 feet downstream of the Anderson Pond and Blue Lake Dam. A culvert, by definition, is a structure that channels water past an obstacle, and in this case, under a roadway. This culvert conveys Ashwillet Brook underneath Route 201, just north of the Billings Lake Road intersection. The purpose of this project is to replace the existing culvert, which is deteriorated and in poor condition. The Route 201 roadway has also been experiencing settlement due to the deteriorating culvert. CTDOT maintenance has performed frequent maintenance and pavement patching to keep this roadway functional. In the pictures below, you can see some rocks that have broken through one of the metal pipes. And on the right, you can see that the metal pipe is actually separating from the concrete structure. The existing structure consists of two 48-inch diameter corrugated metal pipes. The pipes are approximately 50 feet long with about 3.5 feet of cover under the roadway surface. These pipes were installed in 1939, and along with the physical deterioration, they are hydraulically inadequate. The photo on the left is at the inlet side of the culvert where water is flowing in from the Anderson Pond. On the right, there's a photo of the outlet, one of the pipes. And again, you can see how the metal pipe is pulling away from the concrete structure. Moving on to the roadway existing conditions. Shown here is Route 201 looking northbound. Billings Lake Road is on the right side of your screen. You can also see in this picture a recent pavement patch. This is actually right above the existing culvert, and that's due to the deteriorating culvert and settling roadway. So Route 201 is classified as a rural major collector. It sees about 1,300 vehicles per day based on 2024 traffic counts and has a posted speed limit of 40 miles per hour. The roadway consists of two 12-foot wide lanes in each direction with shoulders that vary from about 1.5 to 3.5 feet in width. Moving on to the proposed improvements. Starting with the structure itself, the existing metal pipes will be replaced with a reinforced concrete box culvert. In this plan image shown below, Route 201 is running in the north-south direction, Billings Lake Road to the east. These two blue dashed lines represent the existing metal culvert pipes, and this orange shape represents the proposed reinforced concrete box culvert. The box culvert will be approximately 52 feet long, 18 feet wide, and 7 feet high. The culvert will include reinforced concrete wing walls at both the inlet and outlet sides of the culvert. There's also a concrete barrier along both edges of road on Route 201. The roadway itself will be widened by about 25 feet at the culvert location. These red dashed lines represent where the existing edge of road is located today. So you can see the extent to which we're widening. Hydraulically, the increased size of the culvert will meet demand for a 100-year storm. Also, native stream bed material will be placed within the structure, and a low flow channel for fish passage will be provided. The native stream bed material plays a role in shaping the channel and also providing a habitat for the fish. Moving on to the roadway improvements. Shown here is a plan view of the project. Route 201 is running left to right across the screen. Billings Lake Road is located here. The new culvert, again, is located just north of Billings Lake Road. Route 201 has been designed using a design speed of 45 miles per hour. However, the posted speed limit will remain at 40 miles per hour. We're proposing roadway widening at the culvert location for increased shoulder widths, including an 11-foot wide southbound shoulder and 14-foot wide northbound shoulder. Again, these red dashed lines represent where the existing edge of road is located today. These increased shoulder widths will ensure that cyclists have enough room and that the culvert will not require any further reconstruction if sidewalks are added in a later project. In addition, the northbound shoulder here is especially wide to provide improved sight distance and turning movements for vehicles leaving Billings Lake Road. In addition, south of Billings Lake Road, in this area, in this brown shape, we are proposing a cut to the existing embankment. This will improve sight distance for vehicles leaving Billings Lake Road that are looking left down Route 201. Also, in order to meet our new culvert requirements and provide enough pavement depth, the Route 201 roadway will require approximately 10 inches of profile raise. A couple other things, the private driveway on the Route 201 southbound side of the roadway will be realigned to be further away from the existing culvert. We're also proposing to replace all of the roadside safety within the project limits in order to meet current federal requirements. This next slide is the proposed profile of the roadway. You can see a dashed gray line that represents the existing profile of the roadway. The culvert is located here. You can actually see a dip in the existing roadway profile, and that's due to the settlement at the existing culvert. This solid black line represents our proposed profile, which again is about a 10-inch raise at the culvert. In order to provide this profile raise, about 600 feet of the roadway will be raised with about 420 feet of full depth roadway reconstruction. Due to that profile raise on Route 201, there's some reconstruction required on Billings Lake Road. Billings Lake Road has a design speed of 20 miles per hour. We are proposing mill and overlay along with some full depth shoulder reconstruction. This image on the left, the light gray shape represents the milling and overlay area, and the darker gray represents full depth pavement reconstruction. On the right side of the screen is a profile of Billings Lake Road. The Route 201 10-inch raise is right here. You can see it's about 10 inches above this dashed gray line, and we'll use a vertical curve to tie Billings Lake Road back to its existing grade. In addition, the metal beam rail at the approach to the intersection in this corner will be upgraded to meet federal requirements. Within the project limits, specifically on Billings Lake Road, there are 2 existing drainage systems. These will be removed and replaced with 1 system. On the plan on the right side of the screen, existing drainage is shown in a blue dashed line, and proposed drainage is shown with a blue solid line. One of the systems, this catch basin and this pipe, will be removed. The catch basin here and the outlet pipe will also be removed. 2 new catch basins will be installed on Billings Lake Road, along with a new outlet pipe. In addition, due to the realignment of the private driveway on Route 21 southbound, an existing inlet will be removed here. The existing pipe will be extended and a new catch basin added. So this black or dark gray shape represents that driveway off of Route 201. Can you see the laser pointer on the screen? Yeah, that's the driveway. Within the project limits, there are some existing utilities that we needed to consider. There's 2 utility poles along the northbound shoulder that will need to be relocated. There's 2 dots shown here on this plan at these locations. I think as of last week, there's some older poles that were removed. In addition, on the Route 21 southbound side, there's a support pole that will be relocated as well. Within the project limits, there are no underground utilities or existing or proposed illumination. This next slide describes our anticipated right-of-way impacts. There are 4 impacted properties. At 426 Cossaduck Hill Road, there's on 426 Cossaduck Hill Road, there's an easement to slope for the safety of the highway. At 3 Billings Lake Road, there's a partial acquisition for the new culvert, along with a drainage right-of-way, easement to slope for the support of the highway, and a construction easement. At 164 Miller Road, there's a partial acquisition, construction easement, and rights to grade, construct driveway, and install and remove drainage structures and pipes. At 156 Miller Road, there's a construction easement. Next, Kathleen is going to talk about CTDOT's right-of-way process.
Thank you. So again, my name is Kathleen Erickson, and I'm a project coordinator with the Department's Division of Rights-of-Way. Our office is responsible for acquiring property rights that are needed for transportation projects all throughout the state. So I'll just be giving you a brief overview of what the acquisition process looks like. Before I get further into that, though, I do want to mention that the property impacts for this project are still being finalized, so they could change as the design progresses. Also, any property rights that are acquired are done so in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes, sections 13A-73 and 13A-98E, as well as the Uniform Act. So the right-of-way acquisition process begins once the project reaches a development milestone and all of the property impacts have been determined. At that point, each affected property owner will receive from our office a formal letter of intent to acquire, as well as a property map depicting the exact property rights to be acquired. You can see on the screen just a sample of what the property maps look like. Next, our office will determine the fair market value of those property rights, which will be used to create an offer of just compensation. The property owner will receive the offer in writing, and a right-of-way agent will be available to meet with them to discuss the project, their specific property impacts, and the offer itself. The property owner will be given a reasonable amount of time to consider the state's offer and to enter into negotiations. And then once an agreement has been reached, the department will prepare all necessary documents to record the deed and the property map on the town land records. Now, if an agreement cannot be reached in order to maintain the project schedule, the department may acquire the necessary property rights through its power of eminent domain. If that were to happen, the state would file a notice of condemnation with the Superior Court, along with a monetary deposit in the amount of the state's offer. The property owner then has 6 months to file an appeal, if they felt the state's offer was inadequate. But now whether or not the owner chooses to appeal, the money that was deposited in the court is available to be withdrawn by the owner at any time. It is important to note too, the state will only be acquiring the property rights that are necessary for this project. But if there are any questions regarding the right-of-way acquisition process, I'm happy to answer them during the Q&A portion of tonight's meeting. But for now, I'll turn it back over to Chris to continue on to the presentation.
Thank you, Kathleen. All right. In order to construct our proposed culvert and roadway improvements, we have broken down construction into 4 stages. In stage 1, this is our main stage. We're going to close Route 201 north of Billings Lake Road. We'll install temporary traffic signals on Route 201 and Billings Lake Road in order to allow vehicles to continue to enter and leave Billings Lake Road. Once this closure is in place, there'll be a detour that's signed. In this stage, we'll construct the private driveway at 164 Miller Road. We'll install water handling for the construction of the new culvert. We'll construct the new culvert and wing walls. We'll backfill the culvert and construct the proposed roadway above the culvert. This stage will take approximately 6 weeks. This next slide outlines the detour plan. So that again, this detour will be about 6 weeks long. State routes will be signed, including Route 201, Route 165, Route 164, and Route 2. This detour route is approximately 19.8 miles long and 29 minutes long in order to get from the northern project limit all the way around to the southern project limit. Local roads will likely be used by local drivers, including Miller Road and Northwest Corner Road. This route will not be signed and is about 3.5 miles in 8.5 minutes from the northern project limit to the southern project limit. Coordination with transit and emergency services will occur at the final design phase. So moving on to stage 2, we'll open up Route 201 to alternating one-way traffic. So our temporary traffic signalization will be modified. Traffic will be pushed to the northbound side of Route 201. And in this stage, we'll fully reconstruct the Route 201 southbound lane, as well as install proposed concrete barrier above the culvert and at the ends of the culvert. In stage 3, the temporary signalization will be modified. We'll still maintain the alternating one-way traffic on Route 201, but this lane will be shifted to the southbound side of Route 201. In this stage, we'll construct the northbound lane of Route 201, and the intersection at Billings Lake Road will be constructed during allowable hours, utilizing traffic shifts. Stages 2 and 3 will take approximately 4 weeks total. Stage 4 is the final stage. Traffic will be shifted into its final configuration. We'll mill the pavement within our project limits and place the final 2 inches of pavement. All drainage structures will be reset to their final grade. We'll install the final pavement markings and any final curbing. This stage will take approximately 1 week. This project is located in an area of moderate to high sensitivity as it relates to historical and archaeological features. A phase 1 archaeological investigation has been completed, and the finding was that no archaeological resources are affected. This project also requires some environmental coordination and permitting. Coordination has begun and is ongoing with the CT Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, the Natural Diversity Database, and the State and Tribal Historic Preservation Offices. The expected permits for this project are listed here. The estimated construction cost is $5.1 million with a funding source of 80% federal funds and 20% state funds. The current schedule is that final design plans will be submitted in April of 2028 with an advertising for bid in August 2028 and start of construction in spring 2029. This schedule is subject to having the available funding in place. So that concludes the formal presentation for project 101-119. We'll begin the question and answer session shortly. I just want to reiterate, there are 3 separate ways to submit questions following this meeting. You can submit questions to our project email at dotproject0101-0119@ct.gov. You could also leave a voicemail at 860-594-2020. And you can submit a question during the live Zoom session that's happening right now. Submitting a question through Zoom is only available during this live session. And again, the period for submitting questions and comments will be open until April 27th, 2026. And last, the project webpage is shown here where you can find additional information on the project, including the project description and role plan. With that, James is going to conduct the Q&A session.
No questions coming in on Zoom right now, so we'll turn it up to the room.
I'm here representing the Blue Lake Taxi, which owns the dam and the property just upstream and downstream. It's not clear to me I got what you're planning to do. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
This is your, basically, this is your district right there. This is your property, right? This blue line.
Right.
This blue line right there. This is your property. All right. So basically, what we are doing in this area, we are just doing some rerouting about the swale, end wall, not that much work, some grading. That's all we're doing. There's not any big constructions going on in your area. Just a little bit take up here. You can see up there, which is drainage. So down the road, if CTDOT needs any maintenance of that swale or there are box covered, they can go there and maintain it. That's all we're doing there, which is this red line right there.
You're going to clean everything out downstream of that time?
So from here to there is box covered, then it is open, which is going to be stone rip wrap. You're going to stall up here. This is for the future maintenance. Down the road, if there's any maintenance needed, the CTDOT can go there and take care of it. That's it. And this right here, you can see, is basically we're not touching too much up there. It's just the grading is happening, which is in this area because of the driveway. Just minor grading. You can see this green line, all this green shaded area is just the grading area for this driveway.
In 2010, that entire area downstream of the dam was filled with water.
That still can happen, but the reason is this: the way it's designed hydraulically, we are trying to maintain this so it does not get drained out the entire dam up there. So that elevation hydraulically, we are keeping almost the same. Already, so inwards up here, which is here and there, they're not changed that much. So your pond or your dam can stay, water can stay there. That's how hydraulically it is designed, balancing it out, both inland and out.
So there is some construction by the state on tax district property.
Yes, that will be, absolutely, in this area. You can see right here where my finger is, in this area.
Thank you.
And Kathleen will, down the road, she will stop by with the property map, everything, she will explain to you when the process starts. All right.
Hi, and all I'm coming with that one, which is the corner, Miller Road. I'm just wondering if I could have a copy of the picture that you showed, that showed the whole detour route, so I could tell them sort of what's going on. I don't think it will affect us too much, but, certainly those that know the road will certainly be aware of it. And you still have to allow the whole time for Village Lake Road people to get in and out. That's the tough.
It shouldn't be, because we had used the design vehicle of the big trail. They want to get in with the boat, they can get in, get out.
Yeah, you can't leave them,
No.
none of that, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the one, I would like a picture of where somebody can.
This entire picture is on the website, right?
You can select them and I can get it there.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
We may have that printed out.
We have to make now, after the meeting. After the meeting. Please, sir.
The construction that's going to take place on the tax district property. Is that going to be defined who else to do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when will that happen?
When we are next, just wait for like maybe 6 months, 5 to 6 months.
Okay.
Once we get to the next stage
Yeah.
and the partners are done, Kathleen in her office is going to start by the experiment.
Okay.
Yes, and then if there's any questions, all the stuff at that time, and we have a private engineer there, James, you can always contact him, he will be more than happy to speak to you. Any other questions?
All right, well, if there's no other questions, I think we're gonna call it a night. Thanks everyone for coming.